This has got to be the best idea I ever had. I mean, think about it. Dope goes for way more awesomer price than jail, supply and command. Just remember, Leahy, what comes around is all around. And number 2 or 3 or whatever number we're on, it doesn't take rocket appliances to realize all you got to do is take a fucking chain, hook it up to a truck, and yank the fucking vacuum sheet out of the store. Exactly. Get 2 birds stoned at once. Apparently it's clear to see who makes the pants here. Sorry, boys. What if he has rabies?
Ricky, it's rabies with a B, not rabies.
Some people say my dad's fucked because he lives at the goddamn dump. Well, let me tell you this, my dad's not fucked. He's taught me a lot of good stuff, and one thing he taught me recently is that one man's garbage, another person's good on garbage. And I'm gonna roll with that. Make like a tree and fuck off. Listen, man, if you go down to the store and get me some jalapeno chips and $2 worth of pepperoni, I'll hang out with you for a bit.
Sure. Jalapeno, not jalapeno.
What in the fuck are you guys talking about?
Jalapeno. That's how you pronounce it.
I know how to pronounce it. I ordered fucking jalapeno.
I ordered jalapeno, Randall.
What was that? I know I've seen that movie.
So it's the Trailer Park Boys.
Okay.
Those are Ricky-isms.
Okay.
He says shit like that all the time, like, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He's like, get 2 birds stoned at once. He says them wrong every time.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back to the show. Happy Sunday. I'm Sean.
And I'm Randy.
And we're here today, boys and girls, men and women, or whatever you would like to be called today. Right, Randy?
Right.
We don't discriminate here.
That's for sure.
So, anyway, unless you're furry. Anyway, moving on. Just kidding. We hope you guys had a good week. Sorry about last week with the audio. I don't know what the hell happened. This is why we need a tech person here to figure this shit out. But we don't. So it's fine. Whatever. We just roll with it.
Roll with it.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed our guest at least, James, the prepper.
Yeah,
He had some good information.
It's pretty good.
Also, we're having a guest today. Ooh, from Central Europe. Nisha will be calling in here shortly. And then we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
She's a mobile app developer by day, and she's a mental health advocate by night. So, yeah, I'm about the mental health, kind of.
Are you?
Well, I'm crazy as shit, so
Yeah. Well, okay.
they haven't made anything to fix me yet. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. I seen, actually it was on the news. What was it? Last night? Men don't like mental health.
Really?
Yeah.
It depends on what kind of mental health.
Right. Well, yeah, it does.
I don't think men do well with any kind of emotional stuff at all anyway.
Right. Or talking about stuff.
Yeah, or talking about your feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just not something we do. Women would, I'm sure, prefer it that way. But it's just not going to happen. You're never going to drag a guy's feeling. Well, okay, I don't want to say never. Give him a bottle of Jack Daniels. And then he'll probably cry, tell you all about his feelings. That could definitely happen. Been there, done that. You ever cried on whiskey, Randy?
To be honest with you, I don't drink whiskey most of the time.
I know that.
Shocking.
But have you?
But
in the past, like when you were young?
No, I don't think so.
Really? Shit, man. Never got on the old whiskey cry, huh? I think everybody I know besides you has been on the whiskey cry.
I normally I steer away from whiskey, but
it's not good for you kids.
Yeah.
It doesn't end well. Even if you had a good night and you didn't do anything stupid, right? You didn't cry, you didn't get into a fight, you didn't say shit you're going to regret. None of that. Say you had a perfect, drunk, fun night. The next day is going to be awful. You're going to feel like shit.
Well, I probably had that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I've had that a couple of times. Couple hundred handfuls of times.
Yeah, I'm not a whiskey guy.
I love whiskey. Now,
I mean, I like it.
like whiskey drinkers would knock me in the face for saying this, but I like, I like Jack and Coke, Crown and Coke,
Yeah.
Whiskey and Coke, not a whole bunch of Coke, just a little splash in there.
Coca-Cola.
I just don't know how in the fuck, yeah, soda pop, not cocaine. Shoo, that might be risky.
Right.
Putting some booger sugar in your whiskey, it might not be good.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I just don't know, like, I guess it's like the same thing with beer, right? Like, when you first start drinking beer, you first try beer when you're young, you're like,
Yeah.
shit, I don't know how people sit around and drink a shit.
Yeah.
But then you acquire a taste for it, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So it must be the same way if you start out with whiskey, right? Eventually, you just start drinking whiskey, like just a whiskey, no chaser, no mixer, nothing.
Probably. I mean, do you remember? Like all the TV shows in the '80s. I don't know if you remember, but they always had the whiskey in the like in the room, or what I'm saying. Like, say for example.
Oh yeah, like
for
Scarface or whatever. They had that.
Dallas,
Yeah.
say Dallas.
They're like,
Dallas was a TV show.
Get you a drink?
Yeah.
Let's give you a scotch.
Yeah, and it's like
Rocks.
11 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
Yeah. I just can't do it. I couldn't pour a glass of whiskey and just be like happy with that and be like,
Right.
I'm gonna take a drink and be like, woof, get them fucking whiskey bumps.
Right.
Anyway, we don't have to talk about that all day
No,
if we don't want to.
it's not.
Let's not. It's a trigger for us. Whiskey. Let's go get some real quick. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I don't know. Here, I meant to bring this up on the last one,
Okay.
but so I was talking to my brother the other night, my older brother, and the funny thing is, he goes, we were talking about, like, I don't know, government and all that stuff or whatever.
Right.
But anyway, so I don't know if I brought it up or if he brought it up. I can't remember. But he goes, yeah, I don't, he goes, I don't think, we started talking about Epstein.
Oh, boy.
Jeffrey Epstein, right? And he goes, I don't think he's dead. He goes, I just don't believe it.
Well, is he out there still on Pedophile Island?
Well, no, because they're selling that. But anyway, I
To
don't
who,
know.
Bill Gates?
Right. I don't know. I don't know who. But anyway, yeah, he was just like, I just don't believe he's dead. Somebody that was that influential and powerful, I just can't see that they're dead.
Well, JFK's dead. He's pretty influential and powerful.
That's true. Well, I'm not saying I agree with him, but that's was his point.
Don't mess with the Clintons.
No,
Just kidding.
Don't mess with the Clintons.
If you take anything away from his supposed suicide, that's what you take away. I mean, we could go way down rabbit holes with that story if we wanted to.
Right.
I just don't understand how it's possible, okay, that you're in a federal penitentiary or federal jail holding. The
cameras go off.
Go off.
And
Two guards.
The guards are
sleeping.
asleep. Yeah.
And then Epstein hangs himself.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have thought about that narrative. They should have had a panel of people come in and be like, okay, this is a scenario. You're in a federal penitentiary. You know, cameras go off mysteriously. The 2 guards that are supposed to be guarding this guy on suicide watch anyway fall asleep. Both of them.
You know what?
Would you believe that story? And I guarantee most of them's going to go, no.
I agree with you there, but I just think they don't even care anymore. I mean, they're what Obama didn't Obama kill a American citizen, teenage boy or something like that?
He killed several with his Obamacare. Anyway.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he killed an American citizen. I mean, you know, and then and now Trump's going to get arrested for paying hush money to
a fucking
friggin'
porn star.
Yeah. I don't know.
Number one, that's not illegal, right?
Right.
So who cares? Like, okay, I'm married, you're married. If we went out on one of our excursions, which we are not allowed to do anymore, absolutely not. We can't be trusted.
Oh, that's for sure.
We can't trust ourselves. That's what it is.
Right.
So, we go out on an excursion. We bang some fucking chicks. We pay them some, like, shh, don't tell nobody about this shit. That's not illegal.
No.
You're paying them to shut their mouth, not
they're trying to get him on, I think they're trying to get Trump on. So what happened was the lawyer for Trump paid the woman, and then Trump paid the lawyer. So Trump wrote it off as you know what I'm saying?
Like a tax write-off or something? Oh,
yeah, he wrote it off as like some kind of, what did he say? Whatever.
They're never going to let up until after the election's over.
Oh, no.
They're going to just keep.
Oh, yeah.
If he gets out of this unscathed, then it's going to be something new.
You know what?
Something new.
You know what? He's going to get out of it unscathed. If he actually gets arrested, which, I mean, by the time this comes out, he might be arrested already. He's going to get out in one day. He's going to pay the fine.
Yeah,
it's like a $500 fine or something like that. And then it's going to be the best thing for him.
Yeah. Well,
for political purposes.
Well, yeah, but now see the media is going to turn it around and try to make him out to be a cheater, right? And
oh no, shoot, he's already dusted that dust off a long time ago.
I know, but they're gonna bring it up again, trying to make all the like American Housewife type women, hate him or whatever.
Yeah.
They already hate him, so who cares?
Yeah.
I don't like him. He's a cheater. Yeah,
Actually,
so is every other president. Did you forget about Clinton?
Right.
JFK with Marilyn Monroe?
Right. Actually, my wife last night, my son and his wife was over, and the grandbaby was over. And anyway, so I just randomly said, "Hey, did they arrest Trump yet?" And everybody said, because they were all on their phones, right? So I just figured they would know.
Right.
And
what you guys doing over there?
Anyway, so everybody said, not that we know of or whatever. And anyway, my wife actually said, she goes, well, yeah, they shouldn't be arresting him for that, but they should arrest him for treason.
Treason?
That's what she said.
For what?
I don't know. I guess January 6th, probably.
Oh, fuck me. What about Biden? What about him? Taking money from Ukraine, taking money from China, taking money.
You know what?
Wouldn't that be more of a treasonous thing to do?
Well, I think what I've been hearing lately is that the Republican-controlled House of Representatives now. They're actually investigating a lot of stuff with Biden and his family. And they call it the Biden crime family. But anyway, but anyway, yeah, they're looking into a lot of the stuff with Biden, and
Right.
actually, since they can't, they're not going to get anything passed because you're not
Yeah.
going to get anything through the Senate, you're not going to get anything signed by the president, so they're not going to really focus on like bills that they can pass.
Right.
So they're going to focus on investigations, and they're going to try to expose Biden. But
I mean, realistically, everybody's guilty of being crooked in the government.
well, I'm sure.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's just some people know how to do it, so nobody knows.
Well, I've said it before. I mean, like,
Biden just flaunts it out there.
I know.
Like, hey, I'm not going to give my son a job. I'm going to get him a job in China. Like, what?
Yeah. I know. So, anyway, yeah. Anyway, they're going to focus on that, on doing that stuff, and they're just going to let people know. And actually, the guy that was on what I was listening to, he's actual congressman.
Right.
He's like a representative or something. Anyway, he was saying that they're going to try to focus on that, and he goes, "I hope Biden is the candidate for the next election."
Well, he's going to lose.
Well, I hope so.
I'm
but
just saying.
I don't know. There'll be some mindless people out there that, yeah, let's vote for this walking corpse. I don't know.
Yeah. Weekend Bidens. Kids, young kids out there. I guess not young kids, but young 20-something-year-olds out there. You guys need to get on Netflix or Hulu or wherever they got this movie at. Weekend at Bernie's. That's what it's like right now with the president.
Yeah.
Weekend at Biden's. Never knows where he is or nothing. This country looks like shit.
Well, that's what a lot of people are saying.
I mean, we look weak.
Yeah,
Because we are, technically.
technically.
Once they drug in the shit into the military, it's game over.
Right.
Once they brought the woke stuff in the military, over.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean,
Are we still recording? Hello.
hello. Yeah, we're still good.
Okay.
Sorry,
Check.
people. We're trying to make
We gotta
sure that
check
we
that
stay on
every
top of this time. Yeah, because if we don't, we might get fucking blasted out of here. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So, and Randy doesn't even know about this yet, but I'm getting ready to lay it on him. So, the AIM TV people got a hold of us.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. They want to put us on AIM TV.
Is that what shoot? Brian's
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Brian's boss? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he actually got a hold of me. He did. Wanted to know if we'd want to do that with AIM TV, and I said, yeah, we could try it out. So they ended up emailing yesterday the owner at AIM TV. So we'll see. I don't think we'll last very long on TV.
No, I don't think so.
But we have to be on like HBO or something where we can
Right.
say whatever we want.
Yeah. Oh, they'll bleep us out.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, maybe they can do the bleeping. Yeah, that'll be fine because that'll work for me. Whole show would be bleeps. Like, we can't even use this material. What are these guys doing?
Yeah, Brian talked to me about that a long time ago, and
Wasn't that before we were doing video though?
yeah, it was before we started doing video, and I told Brian, I said, yeah, we haven't actually figured out the video stuff yet, and he was like, okay, but anyway, he was, he never did. I never did talk to him much about it since then, but yeah, he was talking about that he would like, or that, gosh dang it, what's his name? It's
My name's Sean.
no, I got his name in my phone, but
Who you talking about?
Brian's boss. What was his name?
Oh, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, Brandon T. Wilson. That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Brian said that he was wanting to have us like be a part of their TV network or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And I told him at that point, we didn't have video, so
Right. But we do now, and we might be on TV.
Yeah.
For one episode.
Right. Be pilot.
Yeah, it's going to be a pilot, and then they're going to be like, yeah, these guys.
Yeah.
That ain't what we're looking for. Yeah. But, hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, Randy, right?
Right.
I'm used to losing, though, so I'm not really worried about it. Like, it's cool, but I'm not excited about it.
Right.
Now, if we did well, and they were like, oh, yeah, then I'd start getting a little bit more excited.
Well, the funny thing is with our title, Rural America Podcast,
Right.
I think a lot of people think that we're talking about, like,
Oh, I know.
planting
Like
corn.
Planting
corn and taking care of cows.
milking chickens.
Yeah. So, but I think,
No, we're regular rural American people
right.
that think about world stuff. Like, what are we going to do when the shit hits the fan? We already know we're grabbing up our Gatlin rubber band gun and we're going to go to town. I'm not scared. Just kidding. Would you be scared if some shit started going down for real?
Oh, yeah. I probably would be scared. Yeah.
Well, you fucking ain't right. And anybody who says they ain't scared's a liar.
Right.
That's what drives me crazy about people. It's like, would you be scared if you, like, China or Russia or whoever started, like, bombing? Nope. It's like, you're a fucking liar. You're a liar.
No, those are the people you want on your side, I think.
Either that or those are going to be, like, the shit talk. Those are the shit talkers,
Right.
And then when it starts happening, they're going to be the ones, like, laying there crying, not knowing what to do.
Right.
It's like, we know where we're going, and you are definitely not invited. Because our friend will kill you if you start acting that way. Bury you in one of his food plots. Fertilizer.
Yeah. Fertilizer.
You know what else I was thinking?
What?
So, right into the show, people, and let us know what you think about this. The people who actually watch the show video-wise. Should we keep our desks this way, like it is right now, right? Or should we spin them to where we're kind of like that show you watch, or you listen to it, I guess, Kill Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're, like, sitting side by side and they talk like this or whatever, but then the camera's right here. Or should we just keep it the same?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you, too. Well, yeah, you're co-owner of the show. So.
Well, I don't know. I would just keep it the same.
Randy says keep it the same. You let us know what you think.
I don't know.
Hell, we might not be able to get behind the desks if we scoot them the other way.
Right.
They're pretty big. I feel like I'm a corporate guy sitting behind this thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the heck. I don't really even care about the video, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Randy doesn't care. That's why he never looks over at you guys. He's like, he just gives you a quick, hey, how you doing?
yeah.
What's up? It's all right, Randy. You're camera shy.
I'm not camera shy. Just trying to be.
He's trying to be discreet because the federal government has got a warrant out for his arrest
right.
for paying Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
You didn't know him and Trump hung out, did you?
Yeah, I went to Epstein's Island too.
Oh wow, took it to the deep end. Oh shit. What was it like? Was it nice? Is it a nice place?
Oh,
Besides the child rape?
yeah, it wasn't bad.
It's not bad once you get past the screaming in the background. Oh, we're going to hell.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is not going to be on TV.
Yep. If this was the pilot, we would have failed right there.
Yeah, right.
We would have been cut off, emailed. I can't believe you guys are trying to get on TV and you guys are talking about that silliness. But me and Randy refuse to go woke.
Yeah,
Sorry.
We do refuse that.
Yeah. Which is funny because my wife a few days ago said, I was joking about something, and she's like, there's just dumb stuff you shouldn't joke about. And I was like, you should joke about anything. It's a joke. It shouldn't matter what it's about.
Right.
It's just, shit-talking joke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that for a minute. I think she was all mad because I was just like, you need to get over yourself. You can't joke about it. You can joke about whatever you want. It's on how you joke about it.
Yeah.
I heard a really good joke that I'm not going to say on here. Okay?
Okay.
Because...
Oh, good for the show.
Yeah. It is a good joke, though.
Anyway. Yeah.
Well, I heard the joke on social media, on a social media website, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is a fucking terrible joke. It's funny, but it's not at the same time.
Okay.
So let's just not do it. Or you want me to do
Well,
it?
no.
You want me to do it?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
It don't even have any foul language in it.
Yeah, let's not do it.
Okay, fine then. If you want to know what the joke is, email into the show and I'll write it to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I
anyway.
mean, even on even on the radio show I listen to, they in the morning, yeah, they go through the same process a lot of times. It's kind of hilarious. Yeah, don't say that. Do not say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we got to do what we can do. But
Right, which I think it's funny because it's a joke. Right. But at the same time, it's definitely an offensive joke or whatever, but it's meant to be pushy and offensive.
the funny thing is like, if we watch a comedian, like, did you watch the Chris Rock?
I did not.
I watched.
After you said you watched it and you said it was okay or whatever, and there were some funny parts, but it wasn't like, you're
Right,
not laughing your ass off. I'm just kind of like, eh.
Well, yeah. After I watched it, my wife even said that she didn't. She said she didn't think it was funny. And the thing of it is he was, he was talking about his own personal stuff a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And anyway, I thought it was funny. I mean, but I guess she didn't get the joke. Or you know what I'm saying?
It's fine.
And then
Wives don't get jokes for some reason. It's weird.
Anyway, so yeah, she said she didn't really care for it. She said she didn't think it was that funny.
Right.
But I mean, I thought it was funny, but anyway, on that point, So what you were talking about. So like for example, on Kill Tony, right?
Right.
On Kill Tony, they have this guy come up, and he's like, I don't know, autistic, and like
Oh, that's real nice of him, isn't it?
anyway, he comes up, but he crushes every time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know. He's like, no, I think he has MS or something like that. It's what it is. It's not autistic. It's MS. Whatever. He comes up and he crushes like every time, and like, and then like him and Tony go back and forth after he does a set, and they go back and forth, and he always like puts zingers out to Tony. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
It's just hilarious.
Have you ever seen the comedian Josh Blue?
I don't think so.
Anyway, I can't remember what the fuck he has. I feel bad for not knowing now. Anyway, if you've seen him, his arm's like this. It's all fucked up, right? Well, anyway, so he's just talking. He talks shit about it all the time.
Yeah,
He's like,
I think on
he's like trying to wave down a cab.
yeah, I think on Kill Tony that guy, like he has, I think he's in a wheelchair also. This guy, and anyway, but then there's another guy they got on there now that he has a arm messed up, like you're talking about.
Right.
But anyway, what I'm getting at is my wife would not think that's funny at all.
I think it's hilarious.
But he thinks it's funny, and Tony thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
So, and then I think it's funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just pointing out, the obvious, I guess.
Yeah, there was a guy on actually America's Got Talent or whatever.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Is the guy that can't talk? Did you see that?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
I seen a guy that was like kind of, what would you say, like say a special needs person. I don't know, but whatever. But anyway.
But yeah, the fuck, what was I talking about? Now you interrupted. Now you did it to me, Randy.
I did it.
You got me.
You were talking about the guy that
can't talk. So, he has to type, like he's like Stephen Hawking's, right? He has to type into this thing, right? So he types into this thing, and he goes, "If you don't laugh at the disabled guy, you are going to hell."
Actually, to be honest with you, they got a guy on. I don't know. It might be the same guy that you're talking about, but they got a guy on Kill Tony right now that does the exact same thing.
Really? It might be him.
He has to put it into his whatever electronic device, whether it's a phone or
Right, yeah.
whatever. He has to talk that way, and because he can't talk, so he types it in, and he does it so fast.
Yeah.
And he is freaking hilarious. I'm just saying, he is freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you can't make fun of yourself, you can't make fun of anybody else, right?
Right.
I make fun of myself all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, me too. We're definitely both a bunch of idiots here, so.
Yeah. We should have named our podcast Two Idiots in the Studio.
We should have.
We'd probably get away with saying anything then.
Be honest, let's change the name.
Yep. Two Idiots in the Studio. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hear, like, the joke I was talking about, I'm not going to say on here or whatever, super offensive joke. Super, super, super dark offensive joke. But it's also fucking hilarious.
Right.
Just because it's so fucking terrible. Like, it's bad.
You'll tell me later, right?
Yeah, I will tell you. So, But like jokes like that, like Anthony Jeselnik, which I don't know if you know him or any of our listeners or viewers know him. He's a stand-up comedian, but he's like that. He tells dark jokes or whatever. Like, but it's hilarious. Like he has a joke about his uncle started a fucking basically he started a summer camp so that way he could touch children and shit.
Okay, that's okay. See, like that, my wife would not think it's funny. But
Okay, here's my thought. Yeah,
my thought of it is, it's funny because of the concept. Her opinion would be, oh yeah, you shouldn't be talking.
You shouldn't
about
be
that
making
stuff.
fun of molestation.
Yeah,
It's like I'm not. He did, and it's hilarious.
yeah.
Somebody finally brought it
I'm,
up.
I'm just saying that that's where I'm at. But
It's fucking like the dark shit like that is funny.
right,
You know,
are we still recording?
we are still there.
Okay,
Thank God. We're
I
still
gotta,
in
I
there.
gotta check in every now. and
Yeah,
then.
got to check in, make sure we're good. Yeah, I'm trying to stay on top of it. But yeah, I like dark humor like that. I think it's hilarious because that's the whole point of comedy is taboo shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
if people were just talking about regular, like uh some fucking like how many blondes would take to screw on a light bulb? Like those jokes, they're fucking lame. You know what I mean? Those are like 1940 jokes. Yeah, I like the pushing it to the edge to where people's just like uncomfortable,
Right.
but then those few people are like laughing their ass off. So then everybody else is like, "Oh, okay." Kamala Harris especially. She thinks she thinks she's the fucking best stand-up comedian.
Yeah. Okay. So, what happened to Nisha?
You know, I don't know. This is what usually happens though.
Yeah.
People get scared at the last minute and then they're like, "Oh, I can't do this." Which I'm not gonna lie, Nisha, we're not mad at you. Okay, maybe next time. Yeah, I think people just get really nervous.
Maybe she's got the time mixed up. You think?
No, we talked about it several times through email.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be 9:00 our time, 3:00 her time, because she's from Central Europe or whatever. Central Europe time. She didn't actually say where she was from. But she would have been an interesting guest, I think. But hey, stuff happens, so who knows? We haven't got any emails from her as of now, so who knows? You know what's going to happen is we're going to keep going, to like we usually do, and then we're going to take our break, and then it's going to be like, she's going to call, and I'm going to be like, yeah, this is you called it the wrong time. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see what happens, children. Anyway, got any good jokes over there, Randy?
I could. I don't have any good jokes, but not to be Jerry Seinfeld, but what is the deal with friggin' wiper blades? Have you ever replaced wiper blades?
Yeah, they're a bitch now.
On your car?
Yeah, we talked about this.
Oh my! It's like a freaking manual you have to read to do it.
Remember when I was talking to you about the quarter? Right, taking the old wipers off, like the older vehicles.
Yeah, the old vehicles is easy.
It's got that nub. You know what I mean, where it locks in. It's got that little titty, and then you got to take a quarter and you.
Yeah.
I was always shown to take a quarter and pop it in there, and then you can pull your blade off. No big deal. Right. Yeah, now you gotta take it out. You gotta pull it down. You gotta flip it upside down. You gotta spin her around 18 times.
Yeah,
and then sprinkle salt on it. Clap your hands and then pull it off. It's weird as shit. I don't know why they made it so stupid.
I mean, my gosh, it's actually it's not that intensive, but it's
It's not like the old vehicles.
I just tried to change my wiper blades on my truck the other day, and I was having a really hard time figuring out how to freaking put the new ones on.
Yeah.
I got the old ones off fine, but putting the new ones on.
Yeah, they're a bitch. You gotta switch the bracket.
Oh yeah, that's
Not the actual arm.
Yeah.
There's a little bracket on there. You gotta switch it out.
Anyway, yeah.
It's just a bitch.
Anyway, yeah. So.
But I think they do all that. They, they're like, okay, well, people can't work on their cars by themselves anymore because it's too technical. Shit's too tight, and it's just impossible to do.
Right.
Then they were like, what else can we fuck with? Oh yeah, the wiper blades. That way we can get them into the dealership. Be like, yeah, I just need my blades changed. I'll be like, oh, okay. Well, did you realize your timing belt's off? Did you realize your serpentine belt is bad? Like, fuck you. It is not. It has fucking.
That's the same thing.
Hey. Shh.
Okay.
Don't tell these kids this. You just ruined it, Randy.
Okay, sorry.
These kids are supposed to go in there that don't know shit about cars and be like, yeah, I need you to change my serpentine belt. And then come back later and be like, can you also look at my timing belt? Randy always ruins it. Don't forget to send your girlfriend down to Kroger, though, and ask him for pigeon milk. Anyway.
And don't forget to change your, windshield wiper. No.
Don't forget to.
I messed that one up. I was gonna say I was gonna say don't forget to change your turn signal fluid also.
Yeah. You might be out.
Yeah.
My brake lights are out. You're probably out of fluid.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, there used to be a joke in construction, like if you didn't get like if you had your level on something, but like, it ended up being off anyway because you're an idiot, and like say like when you hit it with a nail gun or whatever, like shot it up a little or shot it down.
Okay.
Somebody would be like, "Did you put your level on that?" It's like, yeah, and it's like, man, your shit must be running low on fluid. 'Cause that's
Right.
crooked as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Good times.
Dude, there's all kinds of construction. I fell for every one of them when I was young, for sure.
Right.
Run out to the van and get me some toenails. We got to toenail this in. That's like, well, what do they look like? You'll see them out there. They're in a big box. It says toenails on them. I'm like, okay. Run out there. You're in the fucking van for an hour. Everybody's laughing.
Right.
You're like, I don't see them. Like, you idiot. Get up here. There's no such thing as toenails. Or 2 foot square. Right?
Right.
Which there is a thing called 2 foot square. I remember this guy's like, I don't even know what it looks like. And somebody goes, it looks like a 7. And then there's some other guy yelled, and he's like, it might look like an L. Depends on which way it's laying.
Is that like snipe hunting?
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, wait. We'll not ruin that for everybody. Anyway, I was also gonna say I was at the dentist the other day.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Numb lips.
Huh?
Lippies.
Yeah, I had some numbness going on. But anyway, I had a tooth filled. The funny thing is, here's the funny thing that happened. So I was in there, and okay, they have a TV in there that plays music, right? And they're playing, like, when I got in there, it was like old country music or whatever, like old style stuff. And the lady came in, she goes, "You want me to change that?" I said, "Nah, it's fine." And anyway, she goes, "Okay." Well, then when she was filling my tooth, this other lady was in there, and she's commented on it, I guess. I don't know. it's hard to hear when they're drilling in your teeth, right? So, but she must have commented on it, and the other lady was saying, "Yeah, I told him I could change the channel, but he said it was fine." And then she goes, "Do you know any of these songs?" And I said, "Yeah, I know a lot of them." And it was like freaking Merle Haggard,
Right, yeah.
Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash,
Right.
and Marty Robbins.
Rural America stuff.
Right. And yeah, I knew a lot of them, but anyway.
I went to a town of El Paso.
Well, that was actually, to be honest with you, that wasn't the one that was playing.
I know.
Okay.
All right, well, this has been a fun show, everybody. No,
Anyway. No, I thought it was funny, though. I thought it was funny that they were commenting on it.
You know what I think's funny is everybody thinks I'm older than I am. I think it's because of the gray.
Right.
One, I don't think the gray helps. I don't think you guys probably can't see it on the camera, but I make this expression a lot. And it's usually because I've had to deal with stupid people my whole life. So when they're talking to me, I look surprised that they're talking to me and saying the things that are coming out of their mouth. So I got all these wrinkles right here. Well, now they're like Gordon Ramsay wrinkles, dude. Them things look like fucking things.
Yeah.
They're just there now, permanent. Right? So people always think I'm older than I am, right?
I
And
would
people
say,
be like,
I would say your wrinkles are pretty rough looking.
yeah, pretty rough looking, Randy says. But yeah, people start talking about like something that happened like in like the late 70s or whatever, and they're like, "You remember that?" I'm like, "Yeah." No. Wasn't even born yet. Hell, I wasn't born until 2002. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. You know what fucks with my mind is like people that were born in 2023, right? 2003 are turning 20 this year.
Right.
Which is fucking weird.
Yeah. Actually, one of the guys I listen to talks about this all the time, about how, like, okay, so this one guy I listen to, he's trying to change culture. So he puts out songs.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And actually, they've been banned on YouTube.
Oh shit.
Because he's actually doing it, and actually his songs that come out are like they're actually charting on the Billboard.
Oh really?
Yeah.
But they won't play them on YouTube?
Right.
Oh wow. That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. But anyway, so he said here's the thing. Like these kids. Okay, like what he said was like, okay, do you remember the like if he talks to a younger kid, he said that he'll say, "You remember the collapse 2008, the banking collapse and all that?" And they're like, "No, I was in high school. I didn't
Exactly.
I didn't even care about that."
Yeah.
But these people are voters.
Yeah.
So what he's trying to do is trying to show them how
Fucked up at what? Well, they're getting ready to find out because they're all workers now.
Most of them,
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, most of them.
But anyway, he's trying to show them how, like, okay, that happened then, and then now it's happening again, and then
Yeah, in a short amount of time, which is crazy.
yeah, it is crazy. But anyway, his point is those kids are voters now.
Yeah.
So you gotta reach them. So that's why he's trying to reach out with this. What do you call it? He's not. He's not. I mean, like his songs that he puts out, it's not political at all. but it just has to do with,
Right.
the times or whatever.
Right.
And anyway, so he's just saying that those people are voters now, so we got to try to bring them in to
Like
you know,
now,
yeah,
like to realize what they're doing.
right,
Yeah. Like you can't just be like, yeah, free college.
yeah,
Vote
Or
for Biden.
Not only that, yeah, not only that, yeah, you can't, I don't know, you can't just sit around and play your computer games all day.
No. Well, here's what's funny is like even my wife is guilty of this, which she was in college at the time of 08, 09. But she's like, yeah, just, I don't remember it being like a crappy time or anything. And I was like, yeah, it was awful. And she's like, yeah, I know. You seem like you were traumatized by it. I was like, yeah, there was no work anywhere to be found. Like, if you didn't have like a really secure fucking job, then you didn't have one. People were laying everybody off. There was no construction work at all going on. It was fucking awful. But at the same time, she was like one of them ones that was like, oh, free college. Get my money back. It's like that somebody's paying for that. Like everything we do, we're paying for it. Like when the government says we're gonna invest billions of dollars into this, it's just like we're paying for that.
It's just like the bailout of the last bank, right? What was it? I don't know.
Silicon
SVB,
Valley or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they say we're not gonna pay for it, but yeah, we're gonna pay for it eventually, somehow or another.
Yeah.
We're gonna pay for it.
Do you remember the banks collapsing last time though?
Yeah.
Like collapsing.
What was it? What was it? Shoot. Daggone, I can't remember. Yeah, I remember in 2008. Yeah, I remember. One of them.
Maybe I was just too focused.
One of them went down, and they didn't rescue that one. And then somebody else some other bank come in and bought it out. So here's what happens. So the other bank comes in and buys it all out.
Right.
So they absorb the risk and all that stuff.
Right.
And then that bank becomes like twice the size that it used to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Randy, put that joint out.
Yeah. Sorry, but anyway, yeah, that happened. What the heck? What was the bank? I can't remember. But anyway. I don't know. Same thing's kind of happening now.
Kinda. Slowly. Except there's still work because nobody's working.
You know the Bernie Frank. You know who Bernie Frank is?
No.
Well, he used to be a comedian. Then he actually ran and got in like position of power in the government. Like
boy.
In the I don't know if I think he was a representative. He might have been a senator. I don't know. Can't remember. Anyway, he got taken out like in 2012 or something like that because something happened. But anyway, so he sat on the board of one of the banks that collapsed.
Okay.
And I just listened to a podcast with him not too long ago, and he was talking about it. He was like, he goes, yeah, I was looking for something to do after I got out of the government, and I was not trying to. When you work for the government, you're always like, you have to answer to people, whether you know them or not, and all this stuff. And he goes, after I got out of the government, I was trying to find something to do. And so I joined this board of that bank. And I think it was the first one that collapsed. What was the first one?
I don't remember.
It wasn't Silicon Valley. The first one was something else. Anyway, I don't know. But anyway, he was talking about it, and yeah, pretty much what he said is pretty much the guy was trying to press him on a lot of stuff, like
Right.
trying to get at him, and he was like, I just don't even care. I'm done. I'm done with it. So his position went away immediately when
Right.
when the government came in and took it over. His position went away, and he was like, "Yeah, I just don't even care about it anymore." So,
Don't give a shit.
yeah. And he was supposed to be he was a really way left wing type guy that was supposed to look out for regular people.
Right.
Back when he was in office or whatever. And and then when push comes to the shove, he just doesn't care about it.
Right.
So.
Oh, boy. Yep. Crazy town. Crazy times. All right, Randy. Let's take a break.
All right.
I got to pee.
All right.
Maybe Nisha come on later. I have no idea. We're going to see. We're going to find out.
Okay.
If not, hey, we try. We try here at Rural America Podcast, okay? Now, go pee. Go do whatever you need to do. We'll be back. Right, Randy?
Mm-hmm.
All right, party people. We'll be back after this, and we got fun and crazy news to talk about on the second half. So,
Yeah, I
You
got a
guys-
few more things.
we're going to have fun on the second half for sure. We've kind of just winged it on the first half because we thought like Nisha was going to be gone.
Right,
You know,
right.
so yeah. But hey, things didn't work out. Sometimes that happens here. Anyway, I'm Sean,
And I'm ready.
and this is
Rural
Rural America.
You got our mics on?
Every time. I don't go anywhere without the mic on. All right. Hello, party people. Good God. I'm not going to lie to you. This is our third time trying to do this. We suck at trying to read. We're dyslexic as shit, and we can't tell time. Anyway, hello, United States, Germany, United Kingdom, India, Brazil, Canada, Thailand, Singapore, Israel, Bangladesh, Sweden, Jamaica, Italy, Poland, Philippines, Australia, Belgium, Norway, Indonesia, Uruguay, Japan, Taiwan, Hungary, Ireland, Russia, Dominican Republic, Portugal, Republic of Lithuania, and hello, Denmark.
Hello, Denmark.
My goodness. Anyway, Randy?
Yeah.
Pound your news over there real quick.
Oh, all I got is I was going to shout out to Lake Cumberland Speedway. So you can go to Lake Cumberland Speedway on the, what do you call it? The multi-web internet. I don't know what you call it. Anyway.
On the line.
Okay.
Go ahead.
lcspeedway.net. Don't try to type in .com because somebody stole that one from them.
Losers.
Okay, so April 1st, open practice. They're off on the 8th, on April 8th. The 15th of April, season opener. April 22nd, Demolition Derby. And on Friday, April 28th, they have the Super Late Model Special, which is Schaefer's Oil Spring Nationals Late Model, $7,500 to win.
7,500 doll hairs to win. And all you wrestling fans out there, if you don't know where to go, you go to TripleCrownWrestling.com. Go to their Facebook page. Go to their YouTube channel. Support these guys. Don't be scared, okay? You want to see some DDTs? You want to see some full Nelsons? This is the place to get it, okay? Live action. We're talking Turtle Man style. Live action! Anyway. Oh, the song changed up, and now I started to get hard. But hey, sorry. I didn't mean to mention that. But anyway. Oh, where you can find us is Facebook. Go to our Facebook page. Like, follow. Go to where, Randy?
Oh, RuralAmericanPodcast.com.
The .com. And you can also go to ruralamericapodcast@gmail.com. Any of those places you can find us. Any of those places you can message us.
Write in.
Yeah, write in.
Tell us what we're doing stupidly and wrong, and tell us what we're doing good.
Yeah, if you get a laugh,
and
let us know.
Open your mind. Open your mind to the Rural American way.
Yeah. Which most people don't think this is rural America, but it actually is. But that's fine. Not everybody in rural America agrees with our show, but hey.
Also, shout out to Fish Moon.
Fish Moon Brewery.
We almost forgot about that one.
Yeah. Shout out to Fish Moon Brewery. Shout out to Henry Gray Publishing Company and the Papa Rock books. And you can find them on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all kinds of places. Right. So check them out. Make sure you check us out. And where are we at, Randy? We're on Spotify, YouTube, Google. Whoa, God, we're worldwide.
Worldwide. Podverse. Almost misspoke there.
Uh-oh.
And, Anchor.
Yeah, Breaker.
Yeah. We're on
iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts.
We haven't got kicked off yet.
Yeah. We're still going. We haven't got eliminated. And I would say that's due to a lot of...
because we don't have advertisements.
Randy, you didn't have to just throw us in the dirt and rub our nose in the pee.
Everybody needs to know we just do this for fun anyway. So.
Yeah, that's why we do shout-outs instead of ads.
There you go.
So, we appreciate you guys listening every week. We know sometimes it's probably a struggle to get through our podcast, but hey, sometimes it's a struggle for us as well because we're drug addicts. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, we appreciate you guys every week listening to us. We wouldn't be here without you. Really, that's what keeps us going, I think, is even though one person is listening to our show just cracks us up. And we love it. And we love all you guys. And we love all these countries that decided to join in the Rural America podcast. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's get back to the show, Randy, because these people are tired of
We probably ought to.
Yeah.
Or they're tired of... They shut us off or something.
That's true.
Tired of listening to us ramble.
Anyway,
okay, let's go.
Thank you guys very much. I'm Sean.
And I'm Randy.
And
back to the show.
Rural America Podcast.
Rural America.
Cheerios.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms. Don't forget to grab them while you can. Top of the food chain, they say. Thanks, government. Alrighty, here we go. Something scary. Something weird. I've never heard about this, but I've never heard of this happening anyway. But it reminds me of like a movie. Anyway. Rare tornado near Los Angeles rips roofs off commercial buildings, injuring one person and leaving 11 structures uninhabitable. I didn't even know they had tornadoes out there, Randy.
I didn't either.
I thought that was, like, impossible. You never hear about tornadoes in California.
Well, they had a blizzard, so I don't know.
You know what? Let's just all state the obvious. The government has weather control.
Okay.
And it sounds like Biden's the one controlling it. Because he gets really hot, and then he cools it down. Then he gets too cold, and Papal turns it up. You know what I mean?
Could be.
We've been experiencing some stupid weather here, too, in Indiana.
Yeah.
It's gotten warm. It's gotten fucking freezing again. Then it started snowing out of nowhere.
Well, it goes back to the train wreck, right? So they were Trump supporters out there, and so he didn't want to do anything for them. It's the same thing here.
Yeah. Yeah. Never know what's going to happen. The hell was that?
Conspiracy. I don't know.
Something popped.
Yeah, it was freaking.
I thought they cut our fucking whole program off there for a minute. I thought I instantly looked at the sound. I was like, oh God, it happened again. Oh. But yeah, just so you really think, okay, not do you really think, do you think it's possible at all that they have shit that can control the weather patterns?
I don't know for sure. Actually,
I know it's a conspiracy theory or whatever,
well,
but I'm just saying.
There's another one out there, with all these earthquakes that's going on.
And
right?
just another one just happened.
Yeah, I know you told me that. Yeah, with the earthquakes anyway. There was a guy on something I listened to, and he was talking about, and this was in like the 60s or 70s or something like that. They played it, and he said the government actually has an earthquake machine. They can actually make an earthquake.
Wouldn't it be pretty easy if you think about it?
I don't know.
I mean, okay.
I don't know, but I mean, this is conspiracy theory.
Right, yeah. It's also yeah. So my thing is wouldn't you have to only create like a small explosion, right, near like a fault line to cause an earthquake?
I don't know, man.
I have no idea either. I'm just spitballing. I'm just spitballing ideas here. I'm just trying to get down the rabbit hole a little further. Who knows what they have?
Yeah.
We all might be a TV program for the aliens.
Here's my thing. Okay, so my thing is, so we're funding Ukraine with all these weapons, right?
Hell yeah, we are. Win the war.
And the only thing about that is, I don't know. Those guys somebody has to realize that, if Russia sends nukes or whatever, they got to realize that at one point. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
They got to, I don't know, like, they got to realize that, yeah, I don't think they're scared of it. I don't know why. I don't know what. To be honest with you, I'm scared to death of it. But
what, nukes?
Yeah, but for some reason, some people in the government are not scared of it at all.
Yeah, those are the people that are idiots. But they're also the people that's super scary.
Right.
Okay, but here's what's more scarier. You ready for this? You've got the Japanese, right, in World War II. Not now. I'm not saying now. I don't know their beliefs nowadays. But they had kamikaze pilots that would just purposely, they knew what they were doing the whole time. They'd fly their plane, and they knew they were going to crash their plane into the side of a ship. And they didn't give a shit. You got like ISIS, Taliban, those people, they just run around, run up to a group, blow themselves and everybody else around them up.
Right.
Don't care. Name me one American who's going to do this. None.
Right.
And I'm not saying because we don't have the balls or anything to do it. I think it's just because we're not fucking nuts. Like, we're not on that level of crazy town.
Right.
You know, there's some people are. I'm sure you could.
Oh,
shit. Oh, God. Hold on. Hello, Rural America Podcast.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes? Okay, super. It's Nisha.
Hey, Nisha. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, just let me know at any time if the audio becomes a bit questionable. I'm calling you over voice over IP, so it's just yeah, just let me know if it becomes an issue at any point.
Okay.
I think we're fine.
Yeah, we sounds fine right now.
Okay, great, super.
So how you doing, Nisha?
I'm good. I guess it's morning for you all, but here it's 3 o'clock p.m., so it's almost the end of the day, and that's always nice.
Right. Yeah, we just getting our day started over here. So
Yeah.
how's you say you're living in Central Europe, right?
Yeah.
Do you care to say where? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh, sure. Sorry, Switzerland.
Switzerland, really?
Oh
Oh
wow,
wow,
Really? Yes,
that's awesome.
beautiful
it's
country out
great.
there.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Yes,
yeah.
especially if you like skiing and being outdoors. It's really one of the top.
Yeah, I had my wife's grandparents had the very first exchange student here in the United, or well, in in our area anyway, and she was from
Mm,
Switzerland, and she was awesome. She was a really good person.
great.
Are you a
I'm
native of
glad your Swiss
Switzerland?
experiences have been positive. No, no, I'm actually I'm probably from pretty close where you all are living. My parents live in Houston, actually.
Oh, really?
I was just there last week. I was just there last week because my brother had a new baby, so congratulations to him. But I married a European and then was let's say coerced, convinced, whatever you want to say, to try and to try living in Europe, and I love it. I think it's it was a really good choice, and I lived in Germany for a few years, so I was able to pick up the language and work there, and now Switzerland, and yeah, it's been a really good ride so far, I would say. But actually, I'm from the Houston Dallas area, from
Oh,
Texas.
wow. So you're from here and now you live abroad.
Indeed, yeah.
Was that a big culture shock or anything when you moved?
Massive. Yes, very, very big. I mean, I went to university in Massachusetts at Boston College, and then went to Georgetown. So I was living in quite urban areas, and in that way, it was a bit like coming to a city like Frankfurt or coming to London. It wasn't too overwhelming, but that's not the only thing you address when you move abroad, right? There's a new language, there's a different way of working, the culture is completely different, and
Right.
adjusting to those things was definitely took some time. I would
What
say I'm probably still in the adjustment process.
right? What is the biggest difference? Like working, or you said working, um, is the difference. So what are you saying on that?
So in terms of actual working in a professional setting, it's definitely a bit different in the German-speaking parts of Europe because there's not a lot of. I'm trying to be very nice about how I say this, but there's really not a lot of small small talk, not a lot of fluff talk, not a lot of large ideas discussed. It's very direct. It's very succinct. It's so we have this problem, we need this solution, and it needs to be done like this. And it's really like you address things in a very methodical, logic-driven way. It's not really about having huge projects with lofty ideas on how to transform an entire organization, right? It's much more straight to the point. This is what we need. Can you give us this? Yes, no. How do you do this? What's the right way? And for many things, obviously, there's not one way to do things. So but you have to have a very logical thought process on explaining why you believe this is the right way to do things. It's not enough to say, um, we do it a particular way or your competitors are doing it this way. So you may want to think about, no. It's really like, we have a proven track record with X number of statistics on why this is the way it's right for you. And that was a very different way of working than in the US, because in the US it's much more open-minded. People are open to innovation. They're open to a different way of doing things,
It's
and
called freedom.
trying new things.
No,
And
I'm just
even
kidding.
in you fail, if you fail, it's usually not that much of an investment financially either. So it's really, yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. But I would say there are benefits and drawbacks to both ways, right? It's very results oriented here, so it's much more like you deliver a project that has to meet these KPIs, that has to meet these requirements. Whereas in the US, it's a much more long-term strategic vision on how to achieve things, and both of them are important, and both of them have their own set of challenges and rewards, I would say.
Right.
So,
I would
but
say
yeah,
on that point. So you're talking about the America that was like in the 1920s, probably. So do you think? No, 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 no. No, what I'm getting at is like, yeah, it was all just based on our problems. We got to fix this, you know. Anyway, but your experience in America was more like it was more like a long term, um, lookout of, how we could shape this company and all this stuff. I don't know. Is I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
Is
I
that
hate to
accurate or
generalize
is
too,
that
because
accurate?
obviously not every company is like the way I described, right? I can only describe the kind of the majority mindset and why it's different. Clearly there are outliers to both ways of working, right? In the US you also have companies that are probably more methodical and more results oriented and much more kind of direct in how they do business. And in Europe you also have companies that think outside the box and do very innovative work and also have that long-term strategic viewpoint. So it's for me, I mean, clearly I can just describe one kind of it's a generalization. It is a generalization, right? But there are obviously going to be examples that counter both ways of working. But the other thing I will say about working here in Europe is that work-life balance really matters. I mean, it matters. I can say it kind of objectively, having worked in both places, having worked in the United States and having worked in Europe. You know, in the US, it's a lot more competitive. It's a lot more, you're expected to give 150% at work. It's much more demanding in terms of your time. And people experience stress and burnout more, and generally more than they do in Europe, where here it's fine to take an hour and a half lunch break if you want. It's fine to leave your office at 5 o'clock, and most people do in fact stop working around 5 or 5:30. There's never this expectation of you need to put in the effort. I mean, clearly, if you have deadlines and extenuating circumstances where you have to work more, then you do. But there's a kind of common understanding among employers that people have their work, but they have their families, they have their lives, they have their other commitments, call them, and they need to shut off from the workplace. And so what I mean, clearly you see this theme of burnout happening kind of globally, but I experienced it personally much more in the U.S. than I have here.
Sounds
That's
good.
just
We are
one
on
other
our way
observation.
then. We're going to head your way then. That's fine.
Well, well, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's the door is open. Feel free.
Actually, I was gonna say, so, like, for example, like for me, right? I try to get all my work done as soon as I can. I try to get out of there as soon as I can. So what you're saying is there's no incentive for that in Europe, or I don't know. Maybe you're not saying that, but
No, not really. I mean, it's more like, and again, this is very subjective to the field that you work in. I work in digital transformation and consulting, which is a very kind of cutthroat and competitive field to work in, right? If you work at one of the very, very large organizations that do digital transformation, system integrators, things like this, then yes, the expectation in the U.S. is you serve a client, right? You serve someone that is paying that consulting firm to be there. So you are at the beck and call of whatever this client needs.
Right.
And
Well, yeah.
here, here it's the same, but the client is not asking you to kind of go above and beyond all the time. They're really asking you to deliver what you have committed to delivering, and then you go home. You shut. There's nothing. There's no. I know that like I always felt awkward leaving before my boss left when I was working in the U.S. I always felt like I had to stay in the office as long as he was there because he's still there. Why would I go home? But here, this idea doesn't exist. At least this idea of like, I need to be here because someone above me on the hierarchy is here. That doesn't exist. You can leave when you want to. You can come when you want to. You have a schedule that I think is much more catered to what you need. And there are still commitments that you are responsible for, but usually usually you can deliver them in a way that is, I think, maybe a bit more amenable to your own schedule, as opposed to having to drop everything you're doing and request, answer a client email right away, or make a phone call right away, or something like that. Because at least, and I can only speak from my own experience, but in the U.S. when I worked, that's how it was. We were basically on call for the client, whatever they needed. And so we had to drop what we were doing if we were doing other things, and go back to work.
Oh, well. Well, that sounds terrible.
But again, that probably varies between industries, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably not the same for
Yeah,
every
yeah,
industry either.
that's not my experience. I'm just saying in the U.S. I work in the U.S.
Sure.
And that's not my experience. I'm pretty much, yeah. Okay. So when I worked for my brother, and we did excavating work for a long time, my brother
Yeah.
actually told me, he goes, well, here's the thing: you can go home, and you don't have to worry about work. Um, and and he goes, but I do. He goes, I got people calling me at all times at night or whatever. And
Yeah.
anyway, um anyway, but I will say, since I've been working, which has been a while, but anyway, since I've been working, I don't have that experience where I feel like I have to. Now there's there's certain things, like if you accidentally, for example, you know, take something home with you or whatever, then when you get home, you realize you got something that belongs to, what I'm saying, the place, and you got to take it back.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Mhm.
there's that, but I don't actually really have a. I mean, I'm
Well,
kind of the
I
same
think
way.
that's great, and I would say bear in mind, right, that my experience working in the U.S. is almost a decade old. It could be that things have changed quite a bit since I left there, right? And I
Um,
think given the pandemic and um, how that, let's say, played across the U.S., it's very likely, right, that people definitely now at least have flexible schedules and can and hybrid working arrangements where they can work a bit more in accordance to their own requirements, right? So,
Right.
so are you
yeah, I would just maybe have that in mind too. Yeah.
do you take a I don't know, siesta or anything like that?
I wish I could take a siesta. I think that's so healthy to just have time for a nap in between. I think that's such a good idea. But sadly, no, I don't have a siesta break. But yeah, that's a tragedy. But um,
So,
I don't take siestas. But sometimes, I will take a longer lunch if I have to think about some things. And then, again, the beauty of living in Switzerland is that I have the nature kind of outside my door. So if I have
right.
time, if I have an hour break, I'll block my calendar and go for a run or something like that. And
There you
it's
go.
like it helps.
Yeah.
That really helps clear your head and be able to come back and think logically about things.
So how was so I have a quick question. How was the COVID situation in Switzerland? Were you there at that time?
Yes, yes, I was here. Um, it was, well, probably as brutal as it was everywhere else. Um, it was difficult. I mean, we have surprisingly we have a lot of the same we had a lot of the same political ramifications as I saw in the U.S. We had people here too that wouldn't get vaccinated, that were anti-mask, and things like that as well. So I really saw a lot of similarities there in terms of the mindset and this idea that like the government is imposing these rules on you that are are essentially too invasive. But Switzerland, bear in mind, is a very law-abiding country. So
Right.
it's very much like when there are rules established, you kind of just follow them.
Right.
So, you saw people that had anger for maybe a couple of hours, but then everyone was, when they take here, public transport is a big thing, just as as an example, right? I mean, many people don't have cars because it's really expensive to have cars in the city. So you take a bus or you take a train or you take the streetcars or you take, you take public transport more often than not when you want to get somewhere. And it was always a rule that you have to wear a mask on the public transport as well. And so you would, there was some griping about it for sure at the beginning, but eventually you had people who kind of had to just like in a way, you
Right.
had to just kind
Yeah.
of wear a mask when they
Suck
wanted to
it up.
take the
Yeah.
bus or the train or
Yeah.
whatever else because it's just at some point there isn't much gained from fighting it other than more isolation and staying in your house, which nobody wants.
Right.
So, but the cool thing is again, a really cool escape for us during the pandemic was just being able to get into the mountains, being able to go skiing, and Switzerland was one of the only places where the ski resorts were still open during the COVID pandemic. So, just being able to escape into nature where you didn't have to mask, where you could breathe the air, where you could be at an altitude and hike or do whatever you wanted. I mean, that was really the only. I mean, that was a kind of a solace that was offered to people here that I think a lot of other people didn't have.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That would uh that would definitely be nice to be able to just walk out your back door and start hiking in the mountains or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the thing here, everything is always put into a lot of perspective because around us, you had countries that had lockdowns and curfews, and we never had any of that. So we were always, I mean, I think we're always grateful that it was like, okay, they're imposing these rules that are kind of European wide, but they're not imposing anything more. They're not imposing, you know, unnecessary lockdowns or whatever curfews that might or might not have helped. I don't know looking back, but it's just like we didn't have these things, and so I think we were kind of grateful that we still had the freedom to be able to kind of escape whenever we wanted to into the mountains, into the woods, whatever it is, to have nature, and that was never taken away from us. So I think that's why people were kind of fine with following the rules that were there.
Right. All right. I have one more quick question for you, and then we'll get to you.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay. So, how much shit does Europe talk about U.S. news wise?
um, I'm pleading the Fifth Amendment on
Oh
this, please.
boy,
Oh,
pleading the
no.
fifth. Ah, come on. Just share a little insight. We look pretty weak right now, is how I think.
I don't know if it, well, yeah, this is a hard question to answer because it depends on who you ask. Europe as a whole does not have one mindset about anything. So, if you talk to people in the UK, you will still find people that think the US is an inspiration and um, that think that the U.S. is the kind of gold standard in terms of the way countries should run. But then you look at, I mean, bear in mind, right? This is a continent that's primarily socialist, so the way the U.S. does things has been and will likely continue to be different all the time.
Right.
And I guess the bigger conversation that's being had is that really in the best interest of the people living in the United States? Is it actually majority better for the people in the U.S. to have privatized health care and have to pay X amount for the education, have students going into debt, no, then you had all these things with the detention centers, and there were too many things going on. I can't even keep track of all of them. But like, I I don't know. I mean, I think it definitely. When I was there, Barack Obama was president, and I don't remember anyone saying anything about the U.S. when I was there. Now, since then, you do hear about it again now and again, but it's kind of in this. It for me, it's not about the U.S. It's about the systems they have in place and whether they're actually benefiting the majority of people who live there. Because it's clear that the way things are going right now, there are things that work and there are things that really don't work. And maybe that's true in every country, but I guess you see it less or you hear about it less in Europe because nothing, because nothing happens here is what I was gonna say.
Right.
But like because it's kind of predictable, right? That they, the government is constantly providing what you need, and you pay for that service, and but you see some benefits there. You see what the government does for you, or you see what your taxes go toward, or whatever. Whereas in the
Oh,
U.S.,
yeah, I got you.
it's a black box of some kind.
Yeah, we don't see any.
So
We
I
don't see
wouldn't
where
say,
our taxes
yeah,
go. Usually somewhere
yeah.
else.
I mean, yeah. Well, I
So
mean,
so
that's yeah.
okay. I was just gonna say, um, so before we get to, uh, you, I was just gonna ask you, what, what do you think about us, the United States, in the Ukraine and Russia thing?
Um, why are you guys asking me such a difficult question?
Well, because
Um,
I'm pretty much gonna guarantee that I agree with you on this one. So
I mean, to be honest, the Russian invasion into Ukraine hits much closer here than it does in the United States. To be honest, it's really quite scary to think of what's been happening, what has happened. I mean, the thing is, here, we many countries in Europe have taken in Ukrainian refugees,
right,
and so there's a much more front hand experience. You hear from them in terms of how they've been displaced, what's actually happening. So you hear the Ukrainian side of it much more, obviously. And I just think I just don't know how much more I don't know how much more the world should tolerate of this kind of invasive behavior, but it's not for me to say or judge. Uh, but I just think that it's just a shame. I can't tell you how tragic it is to see these people who have lost their homes, they've lost their livelihoods, their entire way of living just because of one decision made by one guy. And it's just it I think it hits me a little bit more closely because we've had friends who have taken in Ukrainian refugees and we've met them, we've met their kids. It's just it gets really difficult when you talk about family displacement, at least for me, and how the U.S. is handling the situation. Oh, I mean, I,
yeah.
We're doing a real good job, aren't we?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I don't really know what the silver bullet is. What is the actually solution that will fix things? Because I don't know if there is anything like that. But I also think if the world wants to be, the U.S. wants to be the world police, if they want to be the kind of, what are you going to call it, paradigm in the world, this is kind of the moment to step up. But I'm also terrified to say that because I don't want to see another war, because Europe will be caught in the middle of that. And so I don't really know what I could say to better the situation, except just kind of hoping that it resolves itself somehow.
Right.
Well, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, I don't like the Ukrainians dying, and to be honest with you, me and Sean, I think both of us, we agree that we shouldn't even be contributing to that. But I don't know, but we are, I guess. So Anyway,
Well, yes. It's not an easy question to answer. That's why it's and I'm not very political. To be honest, I'm not very good at giving politically correct answers.
Right.
oh
So
well, that's fine.
I just but I'm not a big fan of confrontation either. So I
Right.
just don't. I
Right.
mean, I don't know. I just don't know.
That's why you
I
live
just
in
wish everyone would
Switzerland.
get along. But that sounds so pie in the sky, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I live in a country that's completely neutral.
That's right.
Yay.
You're like, I don't care. I just want to be left alone and hike in the mountains.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to live our lives. Everyone else lives their own, and just don't
That's
fight in front of us. At least
right.
That's
the
what
same thing you would say to your kids.
that's what
Exactly.
we all want. That's what we all want. Yeah.
Okay, Nisha,
Yeah.
let's get to you. So you're a mobile app developer by day. Is that
Yes.
right? Is that right?
Well, yes.
Okay, and then you are
Yes.
a
So
mental
I
health
have a technical
crusader by
background. Yes.
night. So you're like the
Yes, I
Batman
like
of
that
mental
title.
health.
Mental.
Or Batgirl, sorry.
That's okay. That yes, something superhero. I like the superhero analogy. It works.
There you go.
No, I mean, I just, I wouldn't call myself like someone. Well, wish I had superpowers and so on, but no, it's a topic I care very deeply about. Having suffered through a lot of mental health issues on my own, I just wanted to be able to offer people an outlet to be able to talk through what they're experiencing.
Right. Now
And
I'm sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, and I just, I mean, I know that ChatGPT is a big topic now, and technology and AI is a big topic now. And I don't think an app is the only. I mean, I don't think that an app is a solution to mental health, but I think we need to be able to offer people a way to take care of themselves, because the mental health system is really not designed unless you have the money to be able to afford it. And if you don't, then you're kind of just left in the dark, right? Until your mental health issue becomes so serious that you decide to harm yourself or someone else. And I really think that in this day and age, we deserve better.
Right. I agree. Yeah, I thought it was really
Yeah.
interesting that you were talking about developing a game or an app or something to do with that can help
Yeah.
mental illness or whatever, because it seems like a lot of people who do have um, some kind of mental issue going on or depression or whatever, they want to keep their mind busy, so they are on a phone, they are on a computer, you know. So if they had something to
Yeah. No. It's
engage in that could help them, I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the idea of what we're trying to do is offer support groups. So the idea that you can really just actually connect with each other, but in a completely anonymized way. So in case you do feel like there's still stigma around a particular mental health issue that you have, or you don't want to be outed as someone who has a particular mental health issue, you can be completely anonymous within this app. But the other side of the coin is we're also building out a library of mental health related video games and PC games where you can experience a mental health issue without necessarily reliving it every time.
Right.
And I think that's really, really important, because people, especially people who have some trauma, which, I mean, I don't know, the number is getting larger and larger, right? The people who have some mental health issue, if there's a way you can experience it in a non-invasive way, and by invasive I mean like someone, like a professional, kind of telling you what's wrong with you.
Right.
If you can experience it in a way that's interactive, in a way that you can, it's an avatar, so you're still disconnected from them, but that avatar might be experiencing a breakdown, or that avatar might be experiencing some trauma. For me, it's a super effective way to be able to see mental health through someone else's eyes, to be able to really try to understand what someone else is going through, and again, to try to address whatever issues you might have, as long as you've been burying them, to try to address them in a way that's on your own terms
Right.
somehow. It's not coming externally, it's coming from you. And I think that's the most effective therapy you're going to have. Someone telling you to change the way you do things, I don't know, more often than not, at least for me, I just get annoyed when people do that. So it's like, I just get annoyed when people tell me what's wrong with me. So
Right.
I need a way to be able to come to terms with it on my own. And so, I mean, this really worked for me. And if it worked for me, I'm just hopeful it can work for others.
Right. And I agree. I think we should use our, technological advances, to maybe look into something that you're talking about or whatever, instead of like the old school sit in a room, have to tell somebody your problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, really, I mean, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg, too, to be honest. I mean,
Right.
video games is one way. I still have a lot of questions and like reservations about talking to like a chat GPT therapist of some kind.
Right.
Although I'm sure that's coming. I'm sure that AI is going to take over in the therapy realm. I mean, I'm 100% sure of it. Just the question
Right.
is when. But I certainly have reservations about talking about dark, deep seated emotional trauma with a robot, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I, I don't know, like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something I would be okay with, but
Well, I
it's
see.
gonna happen. It's gonna happen at some point. Yeah.
Right. And I also see. I also want people to understand, with mental problems and stuff like that. It was only what 60, 70 years ago they were still giving people lobotomies.
Oh man, really? Okay. Well,
So, you know,
I was gonna
I,
ask you.
I figured we've came a long way, but at the same time, I think, me personally, I've dealt with my own issues personally as well. Um, I think uh, we're still trying to understand the human brain and how it works.
mhm, mhm. No, for sure. And I think we will continue to, right? I mean, it's never going to be. It's a really complex organism. So what can trigger? I mean, just the the idea of trying to assess what can trigger you. Because you see people, I mean, and it happens to me too, right? Someone says the wrong thing and suddenly you kind of turn on a dime immediately. So it's really like trying to assess also how routines and sleep habits and all of these other things that you engage in daily, how they impact your mental health. I mean, honestly, the goal for me, the long-term goal beyond this app is to really get people to treat their physical health the same way they do their mental health because we don't. It's a completely, like almost two disparate systems if you think about it. Um,
I
but
was I was
I mean,
actually I was actually
how?
gonna I was actually gonna ask you.
Yeah.
So you said it seems like it's getting worse lately. Why do you think
Yeah.
that? Do you think that that's why? Um, I don't know. My own personal opinion is people don't get out and move anymore. They don't get out and do
Yeah.
things anymore. Uh, Mainly.
Yeah. I mean, look, I yeah. I was just gonna say I don't have to like convince you both of this likely, but I mean, when you're in a pandemic situation and you're not allowed to go outside, you're not allowed to be within a certain distance of people, you're not allowed to have I don't know, you're not allowed to, really engage the way you used to. It's going to have an impact on your mental health. Um, and what you see actually more and more is like the manifestation of mental health in your work, right, in the workplace. So, I mean, you saw that. I mean, you guys experienced it. I wasn't even there when this happened, but you saw people starting to leave their jobs because side hustles were more valuable and more time effective for people, and they could control their own schedules. And I think employers really need to kind of reevaluate one how they treat employees, but also the prioritization of mental health in organizations. Because if you work people until they burn out, how can you expect to continue to retain a workforce and keep an organization running properly, right? And I guess the irony is burnout has been around for like the past decade, but it was never recognized as a truly kind of contributing to the bottom line economy mental health issue until after the pandemic. So it's just it's like it takes a long time for these things to get on the map or to get top of mind for people, but when they do, I think it's really I don't know why is that happening still. Can you
I
guys hear me still?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I
Yeah,
was just gonna chime in. I was just gonna make a joke. Yeah,
yeah. Go ahead.
you know how you keep the people in line, you just whip them.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go back to that.
No. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was a joke.
Go back to that old United States forum of where we lock you in the factory till your shift's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So no, I mean, I
I'm
think
sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
but I think,
She didn't get that. She didn't like that one, did she?
She's
that's
like,
okay.
no,
Okay.
she's Nisha's thinking right now, why did I even call into this?
Yeah, I know. Right?
I'm not thinking that. Don't worry.
I know. I'm just
Don't
kidding.
worry.
But
No, it's just I think it's. I mean, I was just to conclude because I'm not sure where where the audio cut off. But I mean, I think the bottom line is that the mental health issues that we experience right now are really only going to proliferate. And so if we don't have some solutions on the market that are catered for regular people, normal people that are not millionaires, that are or that don't, that can't afford a therapist or something like that, we're going to have more and more issues.
Right.
Do you agree? I don't know if you agree with this or not, but um anyway, I've heard this. I don't know if this is true or not, but if you actually work out, you can diminish your your like
what, like depression or
yeah, like
whatever?
your depression. You could diminish that by working out and um, getting outside and doing things or whatever. I don't know. Do you agree with that or no?
It depends on how serious you have it, right? I mean, I personally think that going outside and getting some air and taking a break and going for a run and doing things that are good for your body is never going to be detrimental to your mental health. Never. Making sure that you are taking care of yourself is the best thing you can do, right? But it's not the only thing that will help you, right? And clearly, people who have severe depression that need to take antidepressants and other things, it's hard to find the motivation to do that. That's really the issue, right? If you're depressed, it's very hard to find the motivation to go for a walk or to leave your house. And so, but if you can find it, um, then you will definitely reap the benefit of that action in terms of leaving your house and being able to get some air and see things differently. But yeah, I mean, I do agree with it, but I think it's too simple a solution to to work for everyone. But I don't think it hurts you. No, if you have the wherewithal and the ability to be able to go for a walk every day, um, or obviously to take care of yourself, to eat healthy, so on. I mean, these things are definitely not going to hurt you. To get a good night's sleep, but there are also little things you can do, like muting the notifications on your phone, so that you're just for a while unreachable, and you have
Uh,
some time for you.
Tell my wife
That's something that you can do even if you're at home.
Yeah. Shoot.
Yeah, there's definitely certain times I just shut my phone off.
Yeah, I think it's so healthy to do that, really. I mean, I know that it probably pisses other people off, but at the end of the day, you have to care about you, right? No one else is going to care about you,
Okay.
so
Okay.
you need to do it for yourself.
I have argued with my wife on this. So, like, in the middle of the night, she'll get a message or whatever, and then it'll it'll beep or whatever, and then I'm like, what the heck are you doing? And anyway, oh, there's somebody emailing me or whatever, and I was like, shut the sound off. Well, just shut the sound off on your phone. And she goes, I can't do that because I got my kids and my grandkid. I can't shut the sound off because if something happens, I need to know. So I don't know.
Sounds
Yeah.
like anxiety.
Could be. I don't know.
Or some kind of FOMO, right? That's also why people don't shut off their phones. It's because they don't want to miss any information, which On some level, I get. Like, if my mom was, if something happened to one of my family members, they were in the hospital, of course the phone would be on, right? Because I would need to know. I'd need updates immediately. But generally, I don't know. Again, you kind of have to weigh what's more important to you, right? I mean,
Right.
it's a little bit like, okay, I care about my family a lot, but if I don't sleep, I'm going to be not, present with my kids. I'm not going to be able to pay them attention. I'm not going to be able to work the next day. It's like the problem is it has so many ramifications down the road that we just don't think about. And, because we're just living in that one moment. And, well, I'm not your wife's therapist, but I would, I would tell her that, like, maybe she can leave, I don't know, maybe turn the phone off on the weekends or something. Find some kind of compromise where, yes, I understand the need to have the phone on all the time and to be connected all the time. I get that, but think about what you're sacrificing when you do that.
Right. I want to move to Switzerland, live in the mountains, and not have a phone. That would be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
If you want to reach me, you'll have to
Indeed,
have to send a pigeon with a note. Something cool like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah,
you guys
no,
have. I don't
Yeah,
know
or
if
a
you guys
cow
have.
with a big bell.
Yeah, a cow with a big bill. I don't know if you guys have pigeons over in Switzerland or not. You guys got pigeons over there?
Yes, we have pigeons here.
Okay. Just checking.
No, Sean's just messing with you. Anyway, no. To be honest with you, what you're saying is great. Anyway, yeah, like I guess I gotta. The funny thing is if I tell my wife, you know, like a lot of times I'll just set my phone down and freaking walk away from it forever, for 8 hours or so, and she doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, but that's also, I don't know. I could never do that either. For 8 hours? No, I could never do that either.
See,
I mean, I can go. Yeah, I can go maybe an hour or an hour and a half, but beyond that, no, I can't.
well, I just remember
But again, for me, the sleep is way more important. So actually, at night when I get ready to go to bed, I turn off all the notifications and I sleep properly. So again, for me, those 8 hours, I guess technically, I'm not next to the phone, right? Because it's kind of
right.
not switched off, but it has the notification switched off. But during the day, I could never walk away for 8 hours.
Yeah,
Can't.
see,
Good for you.
I remember the good old days when there was no cell phones.
yeah, me too.
People call your house and
Yeah.
it's like, "Hey, is Nisha there?" No, she's out. Shit. All right, thank you.
Yeah,
No one knew where you were.
I know.
It was like an adventure.
Yeah,
Where is she?
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah.
to be honest, if I can bring it back to mental health for just a second, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of issues come from the phone. Like, there are a lot of issues that
Surprising.
come from being on your phone for too long, really too long. I mean, like, this idea of, like, I don't know, gaslighting and catfishing. I don't know,
Right.
maybe I'm dating myself, but that never existed, and I mean that never existed even through my university years. So these are really relatively new phenomenon that are coming because of the phone, because of the fact that you have the internet on your phone. You can doom scroll yourself into a depression.
Right.
So it's really like there is some benefit in being away from your phone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I don't know. Like in the future, I mean, with all this AI stuff coming out, we're not gonna know what's real or not. I mean, the AI is gonna do the catfishing probably. You know what I'm saying? Eventually. Um,
Well, as long
Oh,
as it's
please
Stormy
don't say
Daniels, I hope so.
what?
Nothing.
I didn't hear what you said.
No, go ahead.
Anyway, go
that
ahead.
too.
Anyway,
I don't know who that is.
no, I'm just saying, yeah. I mean, yeah, eventually we're not gonna know what's real or what's fake. And then a person could just say it's fake, even though it was real. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, of course. People are already doing that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's too late. People
yeah,
are
we
already
got the
doing that.
we got the deep fake videos now.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. We're just not gonna know what's real, and then, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, history is probably gonna be erased. To be honest with you, they're gonna redo history eventually, and then some kid in 50 years is gonna look at a video of Biden shaking Putin's hand or something, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, yeah," you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's. I think it's, and I really, yeah. You mentioned a really good point, which is that it's technology has a lot of benefits, but from a mental health standpoint, there are only going to be more issues now that come. Are you talking to someone real? Are you talking to a robot? Are you talking to, when you tell your secrets to an AI versus a therapist, what are they obligated to keep? I mean, like, there's just so many issues that can come up now that it makes me scared for the future generation.
Well,
But it's like, I think that's
I know.
why it's so important. It's so important for us to try and help each other through it, because they're not diminishing in number,
Are you
the mental health issues. And
are
so whatever we can do to try and build a kind of community around, sharing problems with each other, honestly and openly thinking about potential solutions, how we can help each other through difficult times. I know it really sounds like this hippie Woodstock moment, but really what I'm envisioning is just, a group of 4 or 5 people that you don't know, they don't know you, but you're all suffering from the same thing together, and you're holding each other's hand through some really difficult moments, and they get you in a way that no one else could get you because they're going through it too. And that's really, for me, the big differentiator. I don't want to talk to a therapist unless she's also been suffering from anxiety, unless she's also been, a victim of a car accident or whatever the issue is,
why
right?
do you
Because
say why
they
do you
can't
say she?
possibly, she or he, sorry. Yeah, they,
we're just
I'm
messing with you.
just
Yeah,
getting
we're
into the
just messing with
pronouns
you.
now. I'm sorry. Yeah, of course. Bring it up. Bring it up. Yes. I said she because I'm a she, but he, they, it, maybe, I don't know, whatever comes
Sexist.
next with the pronouns. Yes. Yeah. It's just, I think if we don't help each other find a way through, it's gonna be excruciating to try and navigate the mental health arena.
I agree. I would say talking to somebody who has dealt or is dealing with the same issues you're dealing with, and you guys talk. Yeah, I think it could be definitely helpful.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because they're gonna offer you insights that a therapist never could. Right.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's the hope.
Yeah, that is the hope.
Yeah.
Kind of treating each other. That's what it'd be.
What about in what was it? 20 what was it? 2046?
Maybe.
I don't know. I got to write it down somewhere. Sorry. uh yeah, 2046. Valentine's Day. Meteor's supposed to hit the earth. Um so what are we going to do after that?
AI, I take care
What's
of it.
happening in 2046? I'm sorry, I don't even know what are you talking about? What's happening in 2046?
They're saying in 2046 a meteor is gonna strike the Earth, and it'll be
Oh, really?
yeah.
Wow, this is a really doomsday podcast. I had no idea that
Well,
we were going down
no, we're
the
not.
apocalypse rabbit
No,
hole
no, no.
here.
We got
Uh,
no. The United States has actually things that they can do to, you know, move the meteor out of the way. But anyway, I guess. But anyway, um, no, we were just saying. I mean, if you get down to it, if you get down to it, whenever if things go bad, eventually, then like I don't know. I mean, what was it? A Swiss, a Swiss, a Swiss bank. What did they get taken over also?
Oh wow, yeah. Here we go. Okay, well, this is. I mean, of course, it's timely and relevant for this conversation, given that I'm in the thick of it. Yes, um, Swiss mini banking collapse, call it, and the merging of two of the largest banks in Switzerland. Yeah, that's happening.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So two other big banks took over another bank, and then they're even bigger now, right? So that's
Yeah,
a
of
problem.
course.
That's actually a problem. But
I
anyway,
mean,
I don't know. I
it
just
it it happened once already, right? In 2008, when the banks were they didn't, instead of merging, they were bailed out. And this time, rather than the government bailing them out, they're basically telling them to get together. So it's really like, I mean,
that's
I don't
Biden.
know. In the I don't know much about I don't know much about the financial system, but it just strikes me as just ridiculously unfair that these guys always find a way out of crises. It's like, I'm trying to think of anything that would like be similar. It's like a kid that kind of throws a tantrum and then never gets punished. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah,
Like they always
I
find
agree. I
a way
agree with you.
around.
I
So
agree with you 100%. Yeah.
They need to be whipped with the switch one time.
Yeah, and it wouldn't
I
do
don't know,
any.
man.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't do any good. You would still do it. That's what this
Well,
is.
I would.
Right. But anyway.
I have a hard time learning lessons, Randy.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I mean, in today's climate,
I don't have an answer for you here either. No, I don't have any good insights to bring to that, because I'm a victim as well as you are. Like, anyone who is a customer of these banks is gonna suffer. So it's like,
Right.
I don't know, put your money under your pillow, or
In the mattress,
that's
like they
the
did in
best way.
the old days.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, it's like, yeah, I don't really. I mean, I would just, I don't know. I'm becoming doomsday too. See what
Oh,
you guys
God.
are doing here.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
No.
Please
I
do.
Well,
Let's get back to you,
what would it
Nisha.
look like? I mean, what if one of the big, I don't know, what if one of the big banks really just went under? Would that really be the end of the world?
I don't think it'd be the end of the world.
One bank out of 50? I don't really know if
I think we would go back to maybe the barter system. You know, I'll give you a chicken, you give me a piece of bread.
Okay, well, I have a lot of cheese and chocolate here, so I
bet you
suppose that's
do.
what I would do.
I bet she does.
I want
too.
some of that chocolate. Okay,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd take the cheese too.
Oh yeah.
Damn it. We need to go to Switzerland, Randall.
Yeah, we do. But
We'll probably
anyway.
never come back.
Probably.
Have to make sure I take all our podcast equipment.
Yeah, it'll be fun, like a road show.
Yeah. Well, we actually had a guy write in that I guess does a podcast in Switzerland, right? And he said that. So what language do they speak in Switzerland? Dutch?
No, German,
German?
French, Italian, and English.
Okay. This guy who wrote in says that he recently just started doing his podcast in only English. He's trying to broadcast outside the Switzerland area, I guess. But I guess he lives in a small village town.
Kind of like us.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, it's a good way to hone your skills, I suppose.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know who he is. It's. I mean, Switzerland is small, but not that small.
Right.
So I don't know who that is.
So is it you that wants to develop these games and the apps or whatever? Is it with you and your company?
It's me and so I'm a UX designer and a developer, so for me it's kind of second nature to do some of the development myself.
Okay.
But of course, it's also the people who I started this with. So the other Android developers, the other kind of marketing people, there are a few people that are helping out with this. Um, and so but we're not developing the games. We're partnering with another company called Games for Change that does have a library of games that are really tailored specifically to mental health. So we go through these, and we contact the game designers who have already designed those particular games, just to try to kind of consolidate them or create a kind of library where, depending on what you want to learn more about or what you're suffering from, you have access to these games within our app. So that's what we're trying to do in the next iteration of the release, which should be, geez, hopefully before the end of the summer. Let's hope.
Oh, really? That'd be cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we're trying. I mean, it's a lot of work, this. So we're trying to do as much as we can in the short time frame we have. But we're aiming for the end of the summer to try and get everything, at least from a design perspective, laid out, so that we can do the development and get that integrated.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Whenever you get that up and going or whatever, definitely email us and we'll put that out there for people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
because we definitely
Thank
want
you.
yeah, no problem. Definitely want people to be definitely aware of mental health, and there's places to get help besides traditional ways.
Yeah, no, that's the goal, right? I mean, if we still live in a system where it's where the only option you have is a professional or a robot,
Right.
then I know I haven't done my job properly. So hopefully this really allows people to explore it on their own and just come to terms too. I mean, I also really want to iterate to whoever's listening on this podcast and for you all, but um, it's not. I mean, having a mental health issue is there's no shame in it. I don't know. I know it sounds ridiculous. Probably it sounds like some, yeah, cheerleading effort or something. But it's like, for me, talking about it, I understand why it's difficult for people, and to relive that, and to have to go through that. But I just can't tell you how cathartic it is to be able to talk to somebody who understands you, that you're not paying, but someone who has like an investment in you, because your health can help someone else's experience too. So yeah, it's, for me, just like, I really hope the stigma around mental health goes away someday, because it doesn't really make sense. We don't really have stigma around people when it comes to their physical health. I mean, and if anything, we are, touting and celebrating cancer survivors, and these people who overcome really big odds. But really, in mental health, it's somehow just completely opposite. So
Right.
I mean, please don't feel ashamed. Don't feel ashamed to talk about what you're going through, because you're not alone.
I would feel like most people nowadays probably have some kind of mental problem, whether it's depression, anxiety. I think everybody has a little bit of
Yeah,
something.
true. I mean, I think it depends on how severe and how much it impacts your daily life. But yeah, no, it's definitely true. I think more so now than ever, more so now than before. Maybe it happened before too, but we didn't acknowledge it the same way. But now it's pretty obvious, suffering from, and even these terms like depression, anxiety, burnout. They've become pretty acceptable in society to have these things, but there are still some things that aren't. There are still some things that are not okay to have, to suffer from. And I think we need to kind of get on the same page, that whatever trauma you suffered from in the past shouldn't define you now. And even if you do suffer from something that maybe is a little bit less relatable than the big, call it like the big umbrella ones, depression, anxiety, stress, whatever, the ones that are kind of okay to have, that it's all right. It's all right to have something that is a bit more niche and a bit more specific to you, and because you'll find an audience for that. There are other people suffering from the same thing you are out there, and I believe you're probably just there, that you're not connected the right way. Maybe you're connected through social media platforms where you don't talk about this stuff, or
Right.
you don't want to out yourself as having an issue because it's connected to your public profile, right? So
Right.
I think if we can connect people in a content and purpose driven way where they can get together and talk about these things without feeling any shame, without feeling any guilt, and anonymously, so they're protected in their experiences, I think it's really going to help.
Yeah, I think so too.
Can I interject here for a second?
Yeah, go ahead, Randall.
Okay, so okay, so I've been to a
Therapist.
a counselor before, and anyway,
Therapist. They're called
no, no,
therapists.
no,
They're called therapists now.
I called
It's
them.
kind of like
I call them
they
a
used to be waiters and waitresses. Now
whatever.
they're called services.
All right,
Okay, let's get real.
anyway, so I've been to one, and I just didn't like. Yeah, we talked about stuff, but we didn't. They never. I guess what I'm saying is they never dug deep into anything with me or anything. And the other thing I was going to bring up is, what about hard times make hard men, and soft times make soft men? Do you think that's what's going on right now?
I mean, yes and no. That's such a diplomatic answer. Yes and no, right? I think yeah, I mean, I think if you go through something traumatic, if you go through something that will, that has ramifications, whether it's something that happens to you or whether it's something you have biologically, genetically, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I think on some level you become more tough, more mentally aware, more resilient, call it. But I think it also serves as a factor in kind of in motivating you to cut yourself off a little more. I think there's a reason why people don't share these experiences openly. They don't talk about if they were abused.
So
they don't talk about domestic violence. Like these are things that you don't talk about because you kind of have it in your mind that you can deal with it yourself. And I think that's dangerous, right? Because if you can't deal with it yourself, you're going to lash out and you're going to hurt someone else. And it's going to be someone who doesn't deserve it most of the time.
That is a
And
true statement, Nisha. That is
Yeah,
a very true statement.
That's true.
Yeah, so I mean, I
will
think
say also,
you're yeah. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, real quick, my grandpa, right? He was alive during World War II. He actually was enlisted in the Navy. He ended up getting rheumatic fever, whatever. But he was to be honest with you, everybody in my family, still says he was the most truthful with us, and he was I don't know, like I don't know, he was, I guess you would say a patriarch or whatever, but he was also, he was the one that was the most common sense out of all of us. And anyway, I don't know. I'm just saying, he's gone now. So, but anyway, I was just saying that he was the most important, probably, to my whole family.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's yeah, it's tragic when that happens, and I'm sorry for your loss.
No, that's fine. I mean, person, ever. And but he would talk about them, and then he would, and then at the same time, talk about people that smoke, or you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I don't know. It just he was just
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know him, and I don't want to make any preconceived notions because I'm just hearing about him the first time, right? But it's like,
right.
but I'm willing to bet that he barely ever talked about his experience overseas, nor did he talk about going through the war, right, and the impact that that had on him. So
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
guessing,
you're right.
unless he was open to discussing that. But likely he was talking about other things
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
mask or as a
You're right.
deflect
Yeah,
to for his own yeah. And look, again, I don't want to make assumptions about everyone's different, right? I mean, that's the thing. Everyone deals with mental health so differently. That's why it's so challenging to diagnose a lot of things properly. So it's really everybody has to do what's right for them. And if therapy works for you, then do it. I mean, absolutely. This is just an alternative to that because many people just can't afford it. I mean, therapy is expensive.
Yeah.
So it's really like you need to really need it's like for me you really need to need it to pay for that.
Right.
And most of the time you can convince yourself out of it. You can convince yourself to say, "Well, I want to put this money into a new car. I want to put this money to gas. I want to put this money for my mortgage, whatever else." And then your mental health falls by the wayside.
Right.
Way that this can help, then why not?
Right. Yeah. I agree. Um,
Yeah.
that's the thing with mental
Listen,
illness,
you guys,
right?
I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to drop off pretty soon. Now I realize it's already 4 o'clock.
No.
Um,
You're fine. You're
but
totally fine, Nisha.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
all
totally
right.
fine.
I'm gonna have to drop off the call fairly soon. But maybe is there some way that I can sign off properly? Let's say.
Yeah, go ahead. You can sign off properly right now
Yeah,
if you
tell
want to. Yeah,
tell
go ahead.
us tell us if you got a social media.
Yeah,
whatever.
hit all your points.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, if you're interested in the app and you want to give it a shot, it's called Confidential Conversations. You can find it on the App Store or on Google Play. Feel free to download it. And like I said, see if it works for you. We're on all the major channels, social media. You can find us wherever. The handle is at confidconvos. Feel free to follow us. We're always posting things we find interesting. So other podcasts talking about mental health or new thought leadership coming out or new treatments around mental health or blog posts that we write specifically about mental health. So you can feel free to check out any of that. And our website is confidconvos.com. Yeah, just feel free to come on board, have a look. If it works for you, that would make me so happy. If your therapist works for you, then that's great too. But I guess the main point is get help if you need help. Don't wait because like I said, mental health doesn't go away by itself. Mental health issues don't go away by themselves. They usually get worse. And try to get as proactive as you can in whatever way suits you.
There you go.
Yeah.
If
And
you
thank
don't,
you both very much for
Oh,
the
hey,
time and for the
hey,
conversation.
hey, we
It was
thank
great.
you. Yeah, we
We
thank
thank
you
you.
for coming on for
real
sure.
real quick, real quick.
Oh boy.
I just got. What do you think about 15-minute cities? That's not going to be good, is it?
What do I think of? Think about what?
15-minute cities.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay.
Okay.
Randy's trying to draw us into another conversation. That's what he's trying to do.
No.
Nisha,
No,
we
well,
appreciate
yeah.
you coming on.
I'm
Thank you
sorry.
very much. We will.
Okay, cool.
If you don't care, we will promote your thing for the next couple months. If you're okay with that.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, go for it. As long
Cool.
as you want to, go for it.
Cool deal. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. And then
All right.
also we would definitely love to have you back on later in the show once you get your thing up and going, and we'll keep in touch and email if that's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, feel free to reach out anytime.
Perfect. Well, Nisha, we thank you for
Thanks,
coming
guys.
on.
Then
Yep.
have a very good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there we go, Randy. She came on.
What about you don't know what
Here he
15-minute
goes.
cities?
Fuck no. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Oh shoot.
What's a 15-minute city, like Indianapolis?
No, they're actually they've created a couple in Europe. already.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
I figured our city that we live in would be a 15-minute city.
It probably is
'Cause
to
it's
be
so
honest.
small.
It probably is, to be honest with you. But
This is our town. Womp.
But what I was getting at was, 15-minute city is like, okay, you're not allowed to leave this area,
Got you.
and you got everything you need within 15 minutes from you.
I got you. Yep.
So then you would need some kind of pass to get
Right.
from one
Okay.
side to the other.
So it's kind of like which you don't have to have a pass, obviously.
Oh, no,
But,
no.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
Well, no, I'm talking about Key West, right? Because
Okay.
I've been to Key West. Me and my wife went down there. There is everything's in walking distance.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like anything you need, food, grocery store, anything, doesn't matter. It's all right there. It's all 15 minutes away. For sure, right? But you can just walk freely. You don't have to you don't have to have like a card. It's like, hey,
Well, no.
can I go?
I don't.
Can I
think
go past this?
This is never okay. I would say this is never going to happen in the United States, but they've actually created them in Europe. I think in England they did one.
Yeah. Well, they ain't gonna do that in Switzerland.
Well, oh no. Here's what they did. They put up barricades.
Oh, like the Berlin Wall?
I guess.
Are you for real?
Yeah, they put up
Holy
They put up
shit.
barricades and they put up cameras. And then people are like spray painting the cameras.
Well,
and-
fuck yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know.
It's like, hey, we've already been through this. You trying to put up walls? You trying to put up walls again? Fucking Nazis? It's not happening.
No, I just didn't know. I was surprised that she didn't even know about them.
That's true. But she lives in Switzerland, so
Yeah, well, she's gonna be.
the neutral of newts.
I'm guessing they're gonna be the last to.
You know what's crazy is like it's so small of a country, right? Switzerland.
Mhm.
But they just don't give a shit about anybody else. They're just
Right.
like, stay out of here.
Yeah.
Which, you know what they say, Randy?
What do they say?
Dynamite comes in small packages. So
Yeah.
maybe Switzerland could fuck people up and know
Probably.
people, like maybe the governments know, right?
Well, they got the
But
Swiss
like
Army now.
a citizen, yeah, exactly. If they invented that, what else do they have?
Yeah, I know.
Maybe they have the Swiss Army bomb. Fuck you up 10
Right.
ways from Sunday. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
All right, party people, we've got to go. I'm sorry. I wanted to get to more news today, but it's not going to happen. Nisha did call in on. Appreciate her calling in. Fucking from Switzerland. Can you believe that? We got Switzerland people coming on the show now. That's pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing.
We've came a long way
And
since
thank
we
you-
started.
Thank you, Nisha.
Yeah, thank you, Nisha, for sure. We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you sharing experiences. We appreciate you sharing the mental health advocacy that you have.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
I could use that.
yeah, me too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to check this app out.
Yeah, I know.
It might change my life.
Yeah.
But anyway, we appreciate you all listening and watching. The viewers that watch. We're gonna sign off. It's basically lunchtime in our area. She's getting ready for dinner. We're getting ready for lunch. Isn't that
Right.
weird?
Yeah, it's weird.
Time.
Time.
Who knows? But anyway, we're going to hop off here. Appreciate everybody listening this week. Hope you enjoyed Nisha coming on the show. If you want to, check out those apps. Check out the websites that she put out there for you guys. If any of you just want to check it out, or if you know somebody with mental health, or if you yourself has to deal with mental health issues. Mental health is definitely a rampant situation. I mean, we live in different times. My personal feeling is it's like technological advances have happened faster than our brains can process, and now like everybody's into like oh, they said this about me on social media. Oh, they said this. They said, people get depressed. People get upset.
Right.
You can say whatever you want about this show. Me and Randy just don't give a shit. We're just like, yeah, that's just one beer away from being forgot about.
Right.
Just kidding. Anyway, not going to put anybody out there, but thank you, Nisha, again for coming on from Switzerland. We appreciate that, definitely. Hopefully we're going to have some more guests from overseas. I know we got a guy that wants to come on here he's from Switzerland as well, and he has his own podcast that he just went strictly English with for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but that's what he said. So anyway, party people, we're going to end the show. It's been almost 2.5 hours. That seems like it's been long enough.
It's been long enough.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming on. Oh, look, Randy's waving with his face away. Anyway, we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for listening this week. Sorry about last week with the audio, but now it's fixed. Hopefully it's going to stay fixed, but hey, we don't know what's going to happen.
Never know.
Well, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen out here in the sticks. Hell, we're running all this podcast off fucking 12-volt batteries. But anyway, appreciate you. Thank you very much. I'm Sean.
And I'm Randy.
And this is
Rule
America.
America.